If you are not new, then you already know what's going on here and with me. If you are new to the Lions Den, Bigger is out right now. Also, check out Bigger, my single Ain't No Lover Boy FR, my 3 books. A Straight Man's Closet of Desires, Ain't No Lover Boy FR, and Lonely Club. Yes, we are on the road to my debut album. Once again, my name is Mason Jyree for those who are new to the Lions Den. If you want to know why it's called the Lions Den, because we're full of pride, we're full of spiciness, and we eating them the fuck up. That's what we doing. But Lions, this me right now, how I'm feeling right now, I just want to tell you about where I come from. You know, my life growing up and things that have just shaped me into who I am now, and just shaped me into, what this live right here is gonna be it's not gonna be too long, but it's gonna be a little bit personal, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a little personable. And I just want to talk to y'all about a couple things that have really shaped me into who I am right now. The live just got started, by the way. What's up, Jacoby? What's up, Jacoby? What's up, Jacoby? So y'all know me, Mason Jyree. I'm from a small town in Clinton, South Carolina. Ever since I was little, I used to always tell my teachers, whoever asked me, what I was going to be when I grew up, and I always told them I was going to be a singer. I always told them I was going to be an actor or something like that. I'm from the country. Clinton is a very small town. The town I come from, I'm feeling great, Jacoby. How are you feeling? The town I come from is very small. So, it's a lot of people here who I'm pretty sure they may have had big dreams, but they just didn't chase their dreams. And me, I chased my dreams. So, like I said, I'm from a small town. Growing up, I used to always could sing. Like, I remember the first time I got accepted into the gifted and talented program. I had to be in like 3rd grade. And it's like I didn't know I could sing before I knew I could sing. Like when they told me I got accepted, I was so shocked. Like, and looking back on it, I was so hard on myself even as a kid, but I was shocked. I didn't know they was gonna let me in the group. So they let me in a group or whatever. I started singing, I went in band. That's good, Jacoby. That's good. Band, I did theater. I did a bunch of different stuff. So that's that. Once I got into high school, once I got into about 8th grade, I started to do these like singing competitions. And like, in 8th grade, I believe I won one year the singing competition. And I know when I got into 11th grade, and see, 11th and 12th grade for me were the same year because I graduated a year early. So yeah, so I won another competition. And I've always been making music. Growing up, me and my brother were in this group together. Me and my brother were in this group together. We were called the Garlington Brothers. And my mama literally had us everywhere. We would be performing at different churches, performing at different venues, performing at school talent shows. We were just performing everywhere. The only thing we really didn't have is like the only the only thing we really didn't have is like just we weren't recording music or anything like that. So I got older. I graduated high school at 16 years old. I went to college. I became buck wild. Like when I got to college, I got buck wild. And when I got to college, I met these 2 girls. I'm not gonna tell their name, but like they kind of pushed me out of my comfort zone. I remember they made me become friends with them. So became friends with them. I met a lot of people in college. The next year, I posted this song on Facebook that I made. It was like something about keeping the world clean, some corny ass shit. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it was corny, but it went viral. Like locally, it went viral, and I was like, okay, cool. So the next year, I met this person who I used to be friends with as a child, and like essentially, they kind of like just showed me, like started teaching me about like pop culture, and they just started like just telling me about certain stuff. They really kind of taught me the beginning ins and outs of what I needed to know as far as the industry, and I started recording music. And if I'm being honest with you, I remember that person being there because I first started recording on BandLab. And I remember that person being there. And I remember I couldn't record and like press the button at the same time. So they were sitting beside me and they would like press the button, for me. I'd be like, press it, record. But that only lasted for like a month and a half. And, so that was that. So, here I am right now. It's been 6 years from that moment when I first met that person who kind of like, I'm not gonna say they pushed me into making music because I've always been making music, but they just knew somebody who made music. And I was like, I want to be on Apple Music. I want to be on Spotify. I want to do that. At first I was just having fun with it. So, here we are 6 years later, it's 2026. And, the dilemma that I'm facing is that some people specifically, and the reason why I told y'all where I come from is because I come from a small town. And some people, specifically my family members, some people in family, they feel like I've done something to make my way to the top. Little do they know I've been working right in front of their faces. And it just ultimately made me realize is that when people aren't watching nobody's ever going to watch your story because they're not you. They're never going to watch your story. So they're not going to know the things that you went through behind the scenes. They're not going to know the moves that you've been making towards your success. But when people don't know and people think it's only one way to make it to the top, people think that you just think it's only one way to make it to the top. But I'm one of those people, like I've told you all this before. And if you notice, you notice. If you don't, you know. But I'm one of those people. I work hard day and night tenaciously. I'm probably never going to wake up, viral, but I bet you I wake up consistent. And by the time I am quote unquote viral, it's been of like a combustion of my work compounding on top of each other, not just no breakout moment. Because the quicker they lift up, the quicker they. That's another conversation for another day. However, you know, with the situation, with certain people in my family, specifically, if I'm being honest with you, specifically my mother, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I have the platform. I can use my voice, and I will continue to use my voice. But I just want to, like put out a PSA that nobody is behind the scenes helping me, not yet anyway. What you see comes from me. When somebody is helping me behind the scenes, I will let you know. But I feel like people, specifically family members and stuff, who are trying to like just get information and try to like, see, I told you he wasn't doing it alone. You're never going to get that because I am doing it alone. From visuals to photo shoots to creating everything, I do that stuff myself. So, it's very much disheartening, not in a saddening way, not making me sad, but making me more so like, don't play with me and don't ever play with me like that, because of the simple fact I work hard. When somebody puts me on, which nobody ever has, but when somebody helps me get through the next, I'll let you guys know. I'll let them know, even though I don't have to. But when it comes down to it, this whole idea that people have to do salacious things to make it to the top, or you got to do this to do that, it's like so 1984. Let it go. Hang it up. It's 2026. Certain stuff we're not going for. Certain stuff I'm not going for. And I know I'm not the only artist. See, I'm not just building a catalog. I'm building an empire. I'm not the only artist right now going through what I'm going through who is building an empire. People who are meant to sustain and be here forever, the world doesn't get them off rip. People don't get legends off rip. You have to go through a period when people don't really vibe with you. People don't really understand you. And it's like, I'm slowly but surely coming out of that. And what I will not be is discredited. Excuse me for the stuttering, just getting a little passionate. Bear with me. What I will not be is discredited, because everything that you've seen come from me has came from me, my hard work. And like I said, when I have a team, when people are behind me and I feel like, and I want to say their name, I'll let you know. But until then, it's Mason Jyree. It's me. So you're right. And me talking to this specific person in my family because they wanted to be a singer so bad. I grew up watching this person, try to get off their career off the ground. I'm talking about barely trying, but they were waiting. They were waiting. The difference between me and this person is that I ain't wait on nobody. I got up and I started making music even when I was broke. Even when I had to make music on BandLab, I got up and I did what I had to do. I didn't wait for nobody. I didn't move to Atlanta. I was already on before I moved to Atlanta. Okay, I was already doing what I needed to do. I already had 150 song discography before I even, moved. So with that being said, it's like, it's very discrediting when I feel like somebody who is the person who gave birth to me would sit up there and play in my face like that. And I know it's only because jealousy, because what I'm doing, they want to do. But the difference between, it's like some people feel like because they can sing, they're automatically going to become famous. That don't mean shit. It's so many people in the world that can sing. All right. Some people feel like because they, have a little bit of talent in high school, growing up where they're from, everybody knew them. That does not guarantee you success. What guarantees success is hard work. And that's what I'm putting in. Okay. So when it comes down to it, if you're going to tell something, tell the truth. And while you're telling it, tell the people that you were intimidated by me. You were jealous of me. So you scapegoated me and said, he probably sucked some dick to get to the top. He probably did this. And the whole time I ain't did none of that, but I don't knock people who do. It's not about necessarily, it's just about you, what you want to do for your life. If you want to take the easy route, take the easy route. If you want to do what I'm doing, do it. But other than that, don't make opinions or debacles. And most importantly, you have certain people, I'm going to let y'all in on a little secret, You have certain people who feel like Hollywood's evil. It's evil, 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 evil. Everything with Hollywood is so, and people like that, it's like, hang it up, please. It's not 1984 anymore. Hang it up, flat screen. Some people feel like, it's certain people in my family who want me to stop chasing my dreams so they can be like, whew, I'm good. I don't got to work. Like, I don't got to, because like people naturally, they put themselves in competition with certain people. And I'm one of those people that people try to put themselves in competition with me. So it's like, if I'm dreaming bigger, if I'm saying stuff that's bigger than the people around me, they're like, he thinks he's better than me. He thinks he's this. He thinks he's, he thinks he's that. And, some people want me to stop and slow down. And, because I'm moving too quick for certain people. And, when it comes down to it, I just have to let the people know, my people, the people who are outside of my den, the people who are looking through the windows, all that. Mason Jyree is a hard worker. I will let you know when I have a team beside me, because they won't be behind me, because my team isn't behind me, they're beside me. I'll let you know when I have a team beside me who is helping cultivate me. But until then, I have cultivated myself, and goddamn, I done put in some work. Right. You're definitely right, Jacoby. What's up, Christy? Chrissy, I've definitely put in some work. And I feel like that's why I'm so tenacious about myself. It's like I don't want to get to a point to where I'm swallowed up by this small ass town. I don't want to get to a point to where, I give up on my dreams, because I'm doing great. I'm doing great for myself. I'm doing great for myself. I don't even got to explain that because the proof is in the pudding, but I don't want to get swallowed up. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get swallowed up. I don't want to, which it don't really matter, because I know, like I told y'all earlier, fame for me is inevitable, meaning I'm going to be famous. Success for me is inevitable. It's a matter of when. It's not a matter of if. Mason Jyree, I am who I say I am. And it's a certain percentage of a person that we say, this is who I'm going to be, and that's what we become. And I'm that person. If I say this is what I'm going to be, that's who I'm going to be. And there's no if and buts about it. But I feel like, if I told my mother or my father, I was going to school to be a teacher, or if I told them it would be like, okay, cool. But I told them I want to be a global superstar. And it's like, whoa, you can't do that. Because my mama, because I tried to do it and it didn't work for me. So I don't think it's going to work for you. Those were her words verbatim. How dare you? The fact that it is working for me because I did put in the work. And mother, it could have worked for you if you would have put in the work and not look for a handout. It's not only one way to get into Hollywood. It's a certain percentage of us that work. You know what I mean? And if I'm being real, even if I did, oh well, I made it. Even if I did take a shortcut and want to do something like that, oh well, that's my life. If somebody else wanted to do that, if they want to take that's their life. For every action that we make, there are consequences. So I don't care about that. I can only focus on me. I can only focus on me. So I just have to let the people know I'm a hard worker. I'm so much of a hard worker that I eat, breathe, and sleep my career. Like literally, when I'm asleep, I'm thinking about this. When I'm up, I'm thinking about this. When I'm not on here, I'm working. So it's like to have somebody close to me, insult me and say, well, just because we have a plan, that doesn't mean they're going to work out. I literally just told you my plan for our family, my plan for our life, my plan for what I want for everything. And you're going to tell me, well, just because we have a plan, that doesn't mean that we're going to work out. Hater. And it could be my mama, my anybody. If you get to talking like that around me, I'm going to automatically cut you off, because me, I'm going to be who I say I am. I am who I say I am. We just haven't got to that point in history yet. But when we get there, just know we're going to get there, and I'm going to stay there. It ain't no pulling me back down, because this is hard-earned success. Hard-earned success. I've been through so many trials and tribulations, and I'm not just talking. I'm telling y'all what our environment, that is more than enough confirmation. You know what I mean? Because a person who is not meant to be bigger than their environment, they don't care. They get numb to it. I'm not getting numb. I'm getting like passion. I'm getting aggravated. I'm getting irritated. I want it now, And I'm not saying I want, overnight. I'm saying I want comfort, comfort and things that I want now. You know what I mean? And that's just that. That's really just that. But when it comes down to it, coming from a small town, coming from where I come from, it's not a lot of people in South Carolina, but especially the city I come from, that have made a name for themselves like I'm going to make for myself, or like I have made for myself, and like I'm going to continue to make. So, it can be very intimidating when you have dreams bigger than your current environment. People won't understand it. People will try to knock you off your course. You know how much projection I deal with every day. You know how many people look at me, oh well, I just let them think it. Oh well. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Oh well. Chrissy Dankle, I run this. I pay the bills at 102officialmasonjyree.com. You have a good night too, Chrissy. Yeah, you have a good night too, Chrissy. So so that's pretty much that. You got to really get into me. And I feel like, honestly, what really propelled me to even get in this Ain't No Lover Boy FR era is the first situation with my family, if I'm being honest. So I think it's kind of on par for situations to be like this. But one thing I can say is that it is saddening for me to be chasing my dreams, and for me to actually be putting in the work, and to be receiving, putting in that work and getting it back. And for somebody to tell me, and I'm not sad about it at all, because I'm a boss. I'm showing them. I know who I am. I know who I'm going to become. I don't know if I'll be live tomorrow, Kirsty. You just got to catch me when you catch me. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you have your notifications on so you can catch me when you catch me. it's just disheartening, for my mother to tell me, well, son, just because we have a plan, that doesn't mean it's gonna work out. Oh, fuck you. Well, fuck you. You know what I mean? So that is that, that is that. And I feel like essentially why I am the way I am, why I'm coming on this hard is because of the simple fact, is because of the simple fact I should. I'm at an era in my life where people are going to stop playing with me. People are not playing with me as much as they used to play with me anymore. But when it comes to my success and who I'm going to become, just know that who I say I am, it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when it's going to happen, and we're closer than we think, because if you're experiencing this with me, we are closer than we think. Yeah. So I think this is just very, 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 very important. A lot of people they become this sensation, but they never talk about personal things within their family and stuff like that. And they give you when they do, they give you this corny ass. I just wanted to connect with the people, and da, da, da. No, I'm really telling y'all this because of the simple fact I need to get this off of my spirit. I need to, like it's about me connecting with my people, but it's ultimately like this is like like therapeutic for me. Everything that I do, making my music, making my art, making my craft, everything that I do is therapeutic for me. I'm very much tenacious about it. I'm relentless about it. Excuse me, Lions. I'm relentless about it, and I'm just so much I have a lot of passion about it, about creating. And, I never want to feel like when I come on here and I talk about things like, I never want to feel like when I come on here and I talk about things like my mother and my father, I still have parents. Despite my celebrity, despite my influence, despite everything that I'm building for myself, I still have parents and I'm still a human. Society has gotten to the point that like they're not used to like people in my position operating how I operate. So with that being said, you got to continue to get into Mason Jyree. You have to get into my songs, you got to get into my books, on my debut album, and you definitely got to get into the words that I say, because I'm telling you something that you're never going to hear again. I'm going to give a major shout out to Jacoby, major shout out to Chrissy, a major shout out to all the Lions in the Den. I really love y'all and I really appreciate y'all. Do not forget to buy bigger on all platforms. Excuse me, buy bigger on iTunes, stream it on all platforms, and also do not forget to check out my 3 books: Lonely Bee Club, A Straight Man's Closet of Desires, and Ain't No Lover Boy FR. I'm very excited. I'm very proud. I'm very thankful for you, Lions. Once again, it's your boy Mason Jyree. Abontoir. I love you. Stay safe. Stay spicy. Stay hot. And I'll see you very soon.